Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Dad's Expensive Hobby.
What's up?
Today, we are taking a look at the Game Dimensions Tekken 8 King, Anger of the Beast. This is the special version. I'm not really sure if there was like another release or something that had different, accessories or different paint or whatever, but this is the one I have. And, the other day I put up a poll seeing which figure you all wanted me to review next, and this one won by pretty much a landslide. So here we are. I know that these, I'm not familiar with them. I should go ahead and just point that out right now. I know that these are a Bandai product and that they're kind of like Tekken's version of like Dragon Stars for DBZ. So kind of expect that level of quality of stuff. But let's just get right into it because I'm kind of interested in taking a look at this thing. Let's start with these package. It's a very good package. I like it a lot. Very nice window right there showing us everything inside. Nice image of King. He doesn't cover up the figure. Got the metallic lettering right there saying Anger of the Beast. In the background there it says King, Anger of the Beast. That's pretty cool. The back, typical, Bandai type of stuff. Not really, killing it with the back of the package. But overall, I mean, it's not too bad. That's a pretty good package. Nice and displayable for those of you who like to keep stuff in the box. Anyways, let's take a closer look at him as far as a couple of comparisons. I know people, somebody had told me they don't like it when I measure stuff, so we're not going to do that for a while, but I am going to do a couple comparisons. And here he is next to the Super Saiyan 4 Goku Daima from Dragon Stars, and he's a lot taller, but I think King's supposed to be like 6'7", so Goku at 5'9". I'll take that comparison. And here he is, because I had to do it with the Storm Arena Ryu, and again, he's a lot taller. But I will take that as far as the height. I probably should have busted out my Sagat just to see how they looked, but I didn't.
Why?
And we're going to move on. Anyway, let's look at his aesthetic really quick, because at a glance, you would think that the aesthetic on this guy's pretty good. And it is to an extent because he's got shading on him. And I think that is freaking awesome. There is shading throughout the chest and abs and on his muscles. And for the most part, for a I think this thing was like $26 at GameStop with my membership. I got it for $22. He looks pretty good for a $22 figure as far as having paint. Because look, there's even paint on the back. So Bandai is capable of putting paint on the back of a figure.
Shit.
For some reason on the DBZ SH Figuarts, they just don't. Somebody can comment and tell me what you think about that. But the head itself, the little leopard head or whatever this is, whatever particular version of an animal this is, looks pretty darn good. I actually like that a lot. The paint is done well. The sculpt looks pretty good. We'll kind of, when we get in the articulation, talk about how maybe the sculpt of the head as far as how it attaches isn't so hot. But just as far as looking at the head and nothing else, looks pretty good. Musculature for a $22 figure, not too super duper terrible. We'll talk about this gigantic ab cut here in due time. It is what it is. At least it has it. Dragon Stars still don't have any kind of abdominal articulation, and I don't know why Bandai can't do at least something like this. This would be better than the nothing that Dragon Stars currently has.
Goddamn right.
Down through here, again, we'll cover this more in the articulation, how that looks when it moves around. The tail looks pretty good. He doesn't match completely the character design, but again, $22 figure. They didn't paint in a lot of stuff, like right here on the wrist. You can tell it's sculpted to have the little wrist straps around him. They just didn't paint it in. So, that's a little bit of a swing and a miss. He doesn't have the upper arm tassels like the character from the game has or anything. Not that I'm complaining. This thing, personally, to me, still looks better than that SH Figuarts version that we got last year. Don't even get me started. That was one of my what I voted as one of the worst figures of the year. That thing was awful. Anyways, the legs look pretty good for the most part. A little tubular, to be quite honest, in the thighs. They could have had a little bit more meat or some shape or taper or something down in the knee. Something to give us a little more shape. They're a little cylindrical and sausagey looking. The knee right here, knee pad, this color of yellow matches this part of the boot. and it matches this other yellow, but this yellow right here that you can tell where they painted, it's not the same. Not that huge a deal, like, again, for a $22 figure, but I did want to point it out. Laces and eyelets are okay, I guess, again, for a $22 figure, not that big a deal. But overall, like I said, for 22 bucks, this isn't a bad pickup for what it is. Now, for accessories, this thing actually comes with a few things, unlike its Dragon Stars cousins. Of course, it does come with that one head sculpt that we've already been looking at, and I think it looks pretty decent. He comes with 4 different hands, comes with the 2 fist hands on him in the package, and then 2 of these pointy hands right here with different colored gloves like the character had. And they're sculpted and done pretty well, to be honest with you. I don't really have a problem with it. And he has a punch effect kind of thing that goes down on his fist, and I think that looks pretty cool. It's just kind of, that translucent orange plastic, and it's, it's flexible and stuff, but it's meant to go down over his fist. It has a hole in it. Why? I don't really know. If somebody knows, tell me down in the comment. But that's pretty cool, the fact that it comes with a punch effect. And of course, it has this little clear acrylic stand that has a little thing you can put on it, says Tekken 8. I don't really know how functional that is. They probably could have given us something different other than just something that said Tekken 8. We already knew this was a Tekken 8 product, but I guess I'll take it. It just kind of sits down on there. It doesn't do anything, but it's cooler than having nothing at all. Now, for articulation, this thing moves better than a Dragon Stars, and in some ways that's good, in some ways that's bad, but let's just start at the top. He does have a neck joint that's underneath there, and it moves around and all that good stuff, but this little just fixed panther or head, whatever this is, jaguar head, all it's going to pretty much do is turn, and you'll get a little bit of kind of side to side. You're not even going to really get any like tilt out of it. And what I was talking about earlier, see how that's just kind of sitting up on there? Is this supposed to be a mask, or is that his head, or what? Because that doesn't look good. It looks a little bit better when you tilt it forward like that, but if you have it strapped down, that just looks like crap. It's kind of sitting up off of it. And of course, you can twist it around. It'll come off if you do that. But and it's just, see how the neck is just has a ball peg at the end of it. There's not a double ball peg or anything. Done very similarly to the Dragon Stars. Shoulders will come up above 90, so that's pretty nice. And of course, the full 360. Now, there's no butterfly in there, but the way they've got it set up is it got the hinge that's got the ball peg that connects right here, and then there's another hinge inside there that allows it to go up and down a little bit. It's kind of pointless. It doesn't really help the movement of the shoulder, so it's not that great of a joint. Bicep swivel, of course. Double jointed elbow, a little bit past 90, so I guess I'll take it. That doesn't look too horribly segmented. I don't like the way the wrists look right there on that little ball hinge, because there's nothing in between. You see that space? That doesn't look really good, but you'll get your rotation and you can move it around as such. Now, he's got kind of a Marvel Legends-esque ab crunch right here, but it will come forward. You do get that little bit of a sliced look, and when you come here to the back, a little bit of gapping right through there. But honestly, from the back, it's not that bad, or the front as far as crunching forward. Now, when you lean it back, you get that pizza oven look right there that I'm not super duper fond of, and you get these sliced looking pieces right here in his obliques. So it's functional, a little loose actually. Mine just kind of flops around a little bit, but it will serve your purpose. I'm always more of a fan of that, that horizontal cut all the way around, but whatever, this kind of works. Ball peg down here in the waist. My figure, the torso doesn't really sit on the ball peg all that well. If you can see right up in there when you move it around, but it will lean and all that good stuff, but tons of spacing, so that's not super duper awesome. Legs, he'll do a decent split for the most part. That's not too bad right there. No dangle or anything. It's just ball peg technology. They're kind of like drop downs. They are, but they aren't. They don't really drop down that far. Front kick almost to the waist, leaves a little bit to be desired. It will kick back a little bit. This is hard plastic through here for the most part. It's kind of soft, but not really. It'll give just enough to let that leg kick back. Thigh swivels built into that ball hinge. Double jointed knee, past 90 degrees, maybe not the most you would ever want, but whatever. No shin swivel. Ankle is just a kind of semi-ball. It's a ball hinge down here, but you're not going to get anything out of it. Very little down, very little up. Almost no rocker, so that kind of sucks. No peg hole in the bottom of the foot, and no toe hinge. Oh, and I forgot to show you, he's got a little tail, and yeah, it'll articulate in a little circle like that. How fun is that? He kind of looks like a furry, If you know, you know. Anyways, his articulation, again, for what this is, which is basically a kid's toy, it will work. Final thoughts on the Tekken 8 King here from Game Dimensions. I mean, it's not bad. Visually, it's not that great. It's not put together all that awesome, but it's not expensive. And I think that that's something that you really need to keep in mind. It is, again, better than that SH Figuarts King figure from last year. Oh my goodness, was that a crappy figure. And it was super expensive. For 22 to 26 bucks, depending on, what GameStop and if you've got the membership, I say buy it, especially if you just want kind of a place filler. This would work. Like, just looking at this figure, it actually looks pretty good with the shading and stuff, and its sculpt isn't too bad. If you're into this, go ahead and buy it. You're not gonna really be too pissed off, especially since it comes with some accessories. I don't have any other Game Dimensions to really compare it to. I do have some Dragon Stars, and I'll put it on par with the Dragon Stars, and I'll give it a C+ because it's got some accessories. C+ for this thing. Buy it if you want it. You don't need it, but you won't kill yourself if you have it. Anyway, that's all I've got. Subscribe, like, comment, and this has been Dad with Dad's Expensive Hobby, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.